Hi everyone, it's Lou again, and today I wanted to talk about or ramble about the meaning of life a little bit. Yesterday was a really interesting day for me. I started the day driving up to Portland, Maine, and worked out at a local CrossFit gym up there and met a really great guy, a world-class power lifter who had spent a lot of time training at Westside Barbell, and I kind of, back in my past, I'd studied a lot of those teachings and on and on. And then later in the afternoon, I was spent the day in school. For those of you that know, I recently got accepted into interfaith minister school. Seemed like the next kind of cool thing for me to study. But anyway, the common theme for the day for me was the meaning of life and what brings us joy and what brings us fulfillment. And for those of you that have listened to my radio show or some of my other things, I'm kind of coming to a place where I'm really starting to believe that one of the purposes, if not the purpose of us being here, is to make a choice of what path our life is going to take. And once we've made that choice, to really commit to it. And for me, and a lot of this I base on, some of the readings I've done and, people I've learned from or listened to or whatever. But to me, there's two choices. It's coming down to, I like to really boil everything down to its simplest thing, if possible. And it seems to me like there's two paths you can take. The one path is you can choose a path where you're going to find fulfillment and joy in some type of service, service to the earth, service to others, service to, basically anything outside of yourself. And you're going to find joy in that. And the other path would be service to yourself, which means, basically, everything that you do is designed in some way to serve yourself or be self-serving. And if you really think about it, one's a more positive and one's a more negative, right? Or selfish. So what made me think about all that? In the morning, me talking, after I worked out and I was talking to Greg, the power lifter, it's like, this guy, he's a world-class power lifter. I mean, he's hung out with crazy strong, guys. That's a world that most people don't understand. Great people, but very misunderstood people. But he was bubbling over with enthusiasm. He was such a happy person. When I was talking to him, he was in his element. And it really struck me how here's a guy, doing something that most people, can't do. It's like it takes a lot of willpower and stuff, to do those kind of things. And he was so happy because he's sitting there, he's at a gym. As I was working out doing the CrossFit thing, he was on the other side of the gym training a group of women, local women that were going, and they were there to train with him as a powerlifting coach. And he was just happy, respectful, enthusiastic, sharing what he knew. Because he was doing what he loved, and he was sharing it with other people, I guess is the point. And then in the afternoon, at the school, one of the big topics that were coming up for us was, why were we all there, at this chaplaincy school? Everybody had a different background, and the commitment also to it. So obviously everybody that's there, at the minister school is there because they want to help, help in some way. We've all kind of come to a place where, you know, even though we have such extremely different backgrounds and belief systems, we're all there because we want to help others in some way. And one of the things that came up during the conversation was how important it is to commit to your path. Like if you're going to be selfish and you're going to try to not be selfish, you're not going to be happy. And if your heart and your soul really finds joy and fulfillment in helping other people, even in some small way or in your business, or, you're doing something you believe in, and if you don't commit to it and put action behind it and do it, you're really not going to be happy. There's always going to be that sense of longing or emptiness. And it doesn't have to be this big thing, I think. It really just has to be you make the choice, and the world will provide you with opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, to choose which way you want to do. But I believe that our hearts and our souls kind of already have made the choice. So it's really about committing to that choice. So if society, I think that most of us, the vast majority of us, the vast majority of us, really truly in our hearts find fulfillment when we help other people, we're kind to other people, we're doing something good. But society teaches us to look out for ourselves, to be self-serving, to be selfish. It's all about money. It's all about this. It's all about that. Like if it comes down to, me and you, it's going to be me. I'm going to choose me. You're stupid if you don't. And that's what our culture, Western culture anyway, and most cultures around the world teach us. But if we reframe that, what really we can look at that. And they talk about this in the Law of One books a lot, is why don't we reframe that? We use the word catalyst. So society basically is teaching us, trying to teach us something that is contrary to our heart, to what our hearts really long for and yearn for and have decided that we want. So when we're faced with a situation or a choice, where it's going to be like, well, I could screw so-and-so, to make a little extra money, or I could screw so-and-so for whatever, to benefit me in some way. Most of the time, I think, whatever joy or happiness that we get is very fleeting, and it leaves us feeling really empty and not happy, and, in some way in the long run, where we really feel as though, like we've done something, even if we haven't consciously thought it through, I really think it's about the choice and committing to it, So if you want to, bottom line, I'm trying to keep these videos not too long because I know I don't have the attention span to watch really long videos usually. But choose, let's think it through, see if it resonates with you about the two choices that right now are resonating with me. And the more time it goes on, to me, I'm really convinced that this, this is something. Do you find joy and happiness when you're doing something that serves others or helps the planet? Or do you find joy when you're serving yourself and trying to get the world around you and the environment around you to serve you and only you? You have to look inside your heart to see which way your heart and your soul, really finds joy. And what I would suggest is, whatever the choice is, try, if you're not happy, like if you're not really feeling fulfilled in your life, try really committing to it more. Do things, like if you really find happiness in being kind and serving others, do more of it and see how it feels. See if it brings you more joy. If you really believe that you find more joy and making, the world around you serve you, well, go for it. Do it and see if it really brings you happiness. Because I think most of us on the planet flip-flop somewhere in between. And we languish in that middle uncommitted ground most of the time, and that's why we're not happy. That's all I have to say for today. I hope if somebody finds it useful. And until next time, peace and love.